Get started. Hi, everybody. My name is Kim. Haven't met you yet. I'm one of Brittany's coaches. Today is the hot seat call. So this is a great chance for you to share some wins, ask some questions, and then I'll just go by. I'll see what sort of questions we start getting, and then we can do some tapping also. Would anyone like to share a win, share what's going well for them? It doesn't have to be like it's something huge. It could just be a little thing. Or is this anybody's first call, or are they new to the program? Brenda, excellent. Ali, good. Welcome. Great to have you here. So you can just go ahead and unmute this. It's a smaller, and Erin, good. It's a smaller call today. So if you have any questions about the program, we'd love to hear them, and love to hear your wins. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Kim. I have one. I went to the doctor today and they did blood work and all of that. And there were no significant problems. I fell on Friday and hurt my hand. So I've got to have x-rays for that. But all the blood work and all the levels and everything are good. So thank God.
Excellent. Great work. Yeah, good job. Good. Do you have any questions about anything? How's it all going for you, Cheryl?
Good. I'm quite happy. It's spring here where I am. And so I'm quite happy for the sun to be coming back and it to be warming up. I always get more motivated to exercise and do things in the warmer months than I am in the winter. So thank God for that.
All right. Yeah, wonderful.
I'm just getting started, really. I have noticed some changes in how I'm eating. Like I was around chocolate a lot this weekend. Well, excuse me, this last couple of days. And most of the time it was like, eh.
Yes.
And that's really a big thing for me. And I'm not finishing my meals when I'm full. I tend to notice it easier now. I don't know why, but so those are wins to me.
Yeah, excellent wins. Good. Do you have any questions about anything?
Oh, tons, but I'm just gonna try to soak it up here. So
okay. Well, this is the question, the Q&A call. So
okay.
Yeah, feel free to, and there's not that many of us here, so feel free to ask. Yeah. Okay.
I'll go next.
Yes.
Yeah, no big questions from me. I mean, it's a lot of information and just trying to keep up and take everything in. But yeah, I think the win for me is I've the last 2 weekends been visiting friends, and usually I would be the kind of person who's like, let's, screw my goals, whatever. Like, let's just go out, let's drink, whatever, let's have fun. And the last couple weeks, I really haven't felt that at all, which is cool.
Great. That's brilliant. Brilliant wins. Okay. Welcome. Anyone else like to share some wins, ask a question? Just feel free to ask a question, on the call instead of in the chat.
So I had one. So recently I did the tapping, I've been doing the tapping and a lot of my cravings and things like that have gone away or been significantly reduced recently, like the last week or so. And it may have to do with the fall and, stress around that. But I'm noticing that some of them are sort of coming back at 8, 9 o'clock at night. And I'm wondering if anybody else has experienced that, where you tap and they go away. So you think you're good and then they're coming back. Should you just keep tapping on them?
Yeah, so I mean, Cheryl, sometimes they take a couple times each one. So you want to, every time you get it down, like get it down to that 0. And so you might have to do it like that 3 times. If you've done that 3 times and you're still wanting more, it could also be self-sabotage. And you could also be doing it like with emotional eating. So the other option is to push that specific food away. And the other option is to break up with that food. So there's in your coursework, what are you doing, the 6-week course or the Thrive?
Yes, I'm a self-sabotager, so I'm going a lot slower than I should go. But I am doing the 6-week course, yes.
Yeah, okay. So there should be on Brittany's YouTube, you'll find a breaking up with food ceremony, and so just follow that along. So the video is quite broad, but you can just use it for that specific food that's quite hard for you to release.
Thank you.
And make sure you're not doing this when you're hungry either. So if you're actually hungry, then that's your hunger is going to override this technique. So make sure you do it when you're you've had something to eat, and this would be a time that you would usually crave. Yeah, good work. Any other questions? Just feel free to ask them instead of writing into the chat. So has everyone done the breaking up with food ceremony recently?
I've never tried it.
We
Like
can
I
do
said,
that.
I'm very fresh.
Okay.
Is that the one where you throw it in the trash?
No, that's the clean plate.
Oh,
Yeah, because that's what, I mean, we could do, I had something else planned for today, but we could do that breaking up with food ceremony. The other thing I had planned was to do something about needs, which is to do with our boundaries also. So maybe
the self-sabotage idea. I'm kind of stuck on doing that one personally. So I was really drawn to that topic. I don't know how anyone else feels, but that's my vote.
Yeah. So we have a whole circle on that self-sabotage. So one circle a month is dedicated to the whole that self-sabotage. So if you go into your tapping circle, you can find a bunch of different ones there. You can find, if there's a whole library backdated with all of the self-sabotage ones. But so I mean, we can do something on self-sabotage also today. Today's like a Q&A, but I usually try and have something planned because the questions tend to fizzle out when we're just left staring at each other. So yeah, okay, so maybe put into the chat if breaking up with food, explain it. So yeah, so it's a tapping script. So it's a follow along tapping script that I'll be saying some words, and it's just like thanking the food for being there for us. Okay, so we're breaking up with food, right? When like we say some things like, food's always been there for me. It's been like my best friend throughout the years. I can always rely on it. And then we start to flip the script and say, okay, well, it's not really doing me any good. Okay, it's not loving me back. It's doing me harm. Okay, and so then we just say goodbye to the food in that way. So that can be part of that technically is a self-sabotage. So you're sabotaging yourself with food right there. Okay, so we can do a different self-sabotage. So maybe if you want to write into the chat. So we've got three options: breaking up with food ceremony or script, needs script. So if you're like not sure what your actual needs are, this is when we have poor boundaries because we can't stand up for what we need. The third one, I can just choose any other self-sabotage technique. Just put it into the breaking up with food. Second one, breaking up with food. And I mean, both of them, we could see how we go for time. Maybe we could get that needs one in. It looks like it's a tie. Let's do the breaking up with foods first, and then see how we go for time. We just use the same Zoom for Brittany, and Brittany has a call right on the hour. So if you'd like log in, she'd override this call and it will cut out. So we cannot go over. I mean, if we can, but if that happened last time. I'm halfway through something and it's like the host has finished the session. Okay. So breaking up with food ceremony. So I'll just get everyone to go on mute if you can, just to avoid any background noise going on. Write down or just have in your mind the truth statement. 0 is not true and 10 the most true to this statement. I rely on food to make me feel better. I'm just going to go ahead and mute everybody there. Mute on. Yeah, we've got a few 10s there. Good. Okay. So if everyone, I'm going to be tapping along. So if you're new to tapping, just follow me. And we're going to be, everyone's on mute so you can speak this out loud. If you're in a place, quite a private place, you can just say this quietly. Or if you truly cannot speak out loud, that's fine to just think the words. Okay, take a deep, slow breath here, tapping on the karate chop point. Good job. Let's just do 2 more like that. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, release out the mouth. Good job. Last one there. Good. We're going to do the setup statement 3 times. So just say, even though I rely on food to make me feel better, I truly love, forgive, and accept myself anyway. Great. Even though I rely on food to soothe me, I accept myself and I accept these feelings completely. Even though I rely on food as a way to cope with my emotions, I truly love, forgive, and accept myself anyway. And I'm willing to change this today. Good job. And so just start tapping through the points. Food has always been there for me. Food has been like a best friend. I know I can always rely on food. It will always make me feel better. Food calms me when I need to feel calm. I don't know what I would do without food. I don't know how I would, what it would be like not to depend on food. It's scary to think about not using food to make myself feel better. Keep tapping, take a deep breath. It's scary to think about not using food to calm myself down. It makes me stressed out to even think about it. Because food has always been there for me. Food takes all of my stresses away. I know I can eat and then I'll feel relaxed. Food is my reward. It's how I treat myself. But I also know that I'm using food the wrong way. And it's not healthy for me. I'd love to just be able to enjoy food and not feel like it has this much control over me. Good job. Keep tapping, take a deep breath. When I think about breaking up with food, I feel all stressed. I fear the possibility of breaking up with food. It just feels scary. I don't know how I would relax if I didn't have food. I don't know how I would spend my time if I didn't have food. I feel anxious at the thought of breaking up with food. Because food always comforts me. Food fills me with positive emotions. And I'm protective of my relationship with food. It's my food and you can't have it. I'm scared to get over this problem. This problem may be keeping me stuck, but it's familiar. And it's my problem. Take a deep breath, keep tapping. These next statements, they're kind of your inner rebel, all right? So if you say them like you're a teenage girl that just doesn't want to do something. I don't want to break up with food. Food has always been there for me. You can't take this food away from me. It's mine. I know food will always be able to be dependent. I know I can always depend on food. Food is my friend. It will never let me down. I do not want to break up with food because food has always been there for me. Take another deep breath. Some yawns there, good work. But the truth is, soothing myself with food is not healthy for me. When I do it, I eat way too much. And then I feel bad. And then I eat even more food. And the cycle continues. I know using food this way is not healthy for me. So I might be open to changing my relationship with it. Good. This next part is the gratitude list. Okay, so we're thanking the food. So thank you, food, for all that you've done for me. Thank you for always being there. Thank you for protecting me against other unhealthy addictions. Because what I went through, it could have been a lot worse. Thank you because in a lot of ways, food has kept me safe. Food has helped me survive. So I'm grateful to food for helping me and serving me. For being like my best friend throughout the years. For being so dependable whenever I needed to feel better. And now just add in a couple more of your own gratitudes. Specifically around food. Keep tapping. You find some tears coming, just let them come. Another couple of moments here. Take a deep, slow breath, keep tapping. But now it's time that I learn to depend on myself and other people rather than stuff things down with food. So I'm choosing to break up with food. Because in reality, You're just food. You just lie there. You're not really my friend. You can't really love me. But I still really love you. A deep breath. All of this sadness, saying goodbye to a long-term friend, all of this grief. It's really hard to let go of food and these old patterns of mine. But right now, I'm choosing new, healthier ways to feel better. Like tapping, exercising, and add a few more things in that are specific for you, maybe gardening, painting. I can find real connections with friends. I can choose to feel calm and at ease now. I feel proud of myself for making this change. Every day gets easier and easier. I'm loving how confident I'm feeling. I feel so proud of myself. Good. Shake your hands out. Take another deep, deep breath here. Good job, everybody. So go ahead and re-rate that initial statement. I rely on food to make me feel better, 0 to 10. Two. Okay, we've got 5 minutes to chat. 8 to a 2. Courtney, great. Landa, say what it was and what it is now. Yeah. And anyone like to go 10 to a 2? Deborah, great work. Good. Yeah. 10 to a 6, I mean. Yeah. Anyone would like to 10 to a 6, Alison? Excellent. Anyone like to share how that was for them? 10 to a 6, Linda. Good. 5 to a 1. Good job.
I don't know about anybody else, Kim, but I feel really relaxed. I don't want to say confident, but much happier about that now.
Yeah,
right? Like
brilliant.
About food, and I was thinking today, used to be like I would wake up in the morning and strategize, how do I get to Starbucks, right? And now I don't even think about it. So the
Brilliant.
program and these tappings have certainly made a difference for me.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's excellent. Good. Anyone else like to share how that was for them?
Linda, you had your hand up first. Okay, I'll go. It was really powerful. I spend a lot of time coughing. It's hard to talk through it because it makes me cough so much and yawn. And so I spend a lot of my time coughing and yawning. But I've heard that that's energy release and it's relieving the blocks. But it felt very relaxing. But the reason I put a 6 is because I don't know right now. If I feel less stressed about it, I feel less driven to it. But there's a fear that I still will go that direction. So I'm hesitant to rate it lower. But it was really powerful. It made me realize how much I do rely on food as my friend, and I hadn't thought about it before. And tomorrow is my birthday, and I just feel like I just gave myself an amazing birthday present.
Yes. Happy birthday.
Thank
That's
you.
wonderful. Great share. Great share. Linda, hi.
Hi. I only went down to an 8. I get to the part, it all feels really good. And then we get to the part with food is just food. and it's not for me. It's still my reward. It's still friendlier. It's still more of a soothing than the other things are. So it's not just food. It's not just empty calories. It still feels like for so long it's been the one thing I can count on. And
Yeah.
so the minute you say it's just food, I go, no, 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 it's not. It's all those other things we just went through.
Yeah. Yeah. I would suggest like writing down like some other things that you could do. Other little hobbies or something else that you can reward yourself with, like all the other things that you like to do, you know, and just go, okay, how can I reward myself with calling my favorite friend, going outside and walking around, or something else. I know that these are you know, there's other tips and tricks, but those kind of things, that's what we're referring to. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Linda.
There we go. Sorry, honey.
Deborah, hi.
Curious, do you know if that tapping is in the circle somewhere? If we wanted to repeat that, because I went from a 10 to a 6, but I was crying when you said all the sadness, all the grief.
Yeah.
Because it is, I hate to admit that food's been such a big friend, right?
Right.
I mean, it was the one thing you could always depend on, and it wasn't people, and it would numb your emotions. But I think maybe repeating that, because I did come down and I can feel a willingness to shift, but I don't think I've made that complete turn.
Yeah, it's I mean, I've done this on one of the circles. I can't remember which one. It was one of the hot seat circles. I don't know if they so this one's being recorded. I mean, they're all recorded. They'll be
it'll be in there for today's date. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. And it's also on Brittany's YouTube.
Okay.
So if you just type in her name and Breaking Up with Food, you find the video also. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Did anyone else, or someone else had their hand up? Maybe that was already the question answered. Yeah. And who was it was saying that you wanted the sabotage? I mean, both of these scripts are sabotage. So we're getting into who was the friend that wanted, I can't remember, I can't see that face on there now, that wanted the sabotage. And Alan, did you want to speak? Off mute.
Yes, there's one thing I wanted to say for me is that ever since I was a little girl, that's how my mom rewarded me and how my grandparents rewarded me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm 70. Food has been a reward for me for almost 70 years. And so I think it might take a couple of these sessions to let that go.
Yeah. I know it's easy for me to say too. And like, so to say, yeah, we're just, you know, and like all of these habits, they have like, once you're doing the same thing, you're like, you know, implementing that habit over the years. So that's, you know, that's 7 full decades of that same thing. So well done for being here and having the willingness to change. Yeah, good. Let's get straight into the needs script.
Can I share something really quick?
Yes.
Some of the things that it's been interesting going through this process, because I have had a hard time remembering my childhood. And as I do this tapping, it unlocks all these memories. And as we were doing that, I had memories of times when I would go, like dozens of places that were my favorite places. I would go get something and then I'd go sit and eat it, and in my car, and a variety of things. And I didn't realize, you know, I had this flood of memories. And a big thing that came to me is that there's such a variety of foods, that the variety, you know, there's something for every mood, you know, whatever, sweet, salty, crunchy, smooth, you know, everything, hot, cold. There's such a variety of things. And so it feels like it just fits every single contingency. And it just, and friends, we just don't have that many friends. And so it just was kind of, it brought up a lot of fear for me.
Yeah.
Have as many friends as I did varieties of food to fill that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to share that.
Yeah. And thank you for saying that. And thank you and I think like now, like nowadays, it wasn't like what it used to be, that people are just stuck. I mean, I'm guilty of that, stuck on our phones. We're stuck in our houses. COVID was a big thing for that, and people stopped connecting like we used to. And so, you know, that's really good. And if you're able to articulate that in the moment of what you want, like the crunchies for this and stuff. So if you find that yourself like gravitating towards a specific food, it's like, oh, I'm only going for the crunch, or like I'm only going for the creamy stuff. It's like, well, what else do I need in that moment? Creamy is usually something like I need something that's soothing for me. Crunchy, it's like stress. So what else could be done in that moment? Of like, okay, maybe if the crunchy, maybe I can go for a run, or I can pound a pillow for 10 minutes to try and release that. And it's another way. But, you know, this group is so important, coming onto this group. And thank you for sharing that, Alison, and being open to share something like that. So these groups are really important. Buddies are really important. Getting into that, like just by you saying that, being open and being vulnerable, it really helps everybody, you know. And it helps us all come together. So let's do as promised, the needs script. This is also on Brittany's YouTube. So a lot of times we don't know what we actually truly need. Okay, so if at one time you asked a caregiver, a parent for something, and they're like, oh, how dare you ask me for that? You know that you already had an ice cream today. What, you want another one? How greedy you are. And you think, whoa, mum gets angry when I ask for something, so I better zip it, right? And then over the years, the decades, we start learning, it's like, it's not safe for me to have needs, but I bet everyone on this call knows all the needs of everyone else. Be able to pick up on the needs. Okay, so that's another tactic that we learn, you know, as a survival mechanism. As a little girl, we learn to pick up on like, oh, mum needs her space, or mum, maybe I'll make her a cup of tea so she feels okay, or something like that, right? So we get good at knowing, sensing what other people need and denying our own needs. Okay, so think of something that you would like if you need more support in your life, or if there's something that you're not really asking, say if there's something in your work, or a certain relationship, you're like, oh, I would really have liked to spend more time with that person. Or think of something you would like a question that you're kind of hesitant. We're not going to make you ask this question to this person, don't worry. But think of something that you kind of really want, but you are not, you're not asking for it. Okay, think of that thing. Don't worry if you can't find anything. We trek on ahead, even though. But think of like what comes up when you imagine that you're asking for that thing. So, for example, okay, so it's like, oh, I really need more time off work, or I need more help around the house. So I'm going to ask my partner for more help, right? And it's like, oh, I feel nervous about that, right? That's 8 out of 10, okay? Nervous or anxious, fearful, right? So whatever it is for you, we don't also need to, some people, it's quite hard to identify. So before doing this anyway, so let's just go ahead and start. Tap on the karate chop point, another deep, slow breath here. Even though I struggle to recognize my own needs, I truly love, forgive, and accept myself anyway. That twice more. Even though I can't feel my needs until it's too late, and I don't have good boundaries, I choose to love, forgive, and accept myself anyway. Last one, even though I have difficulty knowing what my needs are, still staying on the karate chop point for now. Yeah. And this causes problems in my life, I choose to love, forgive, and accept myself anyway. Good. Now tapping through the points. I don't know what my needs are. I cannot feel my needs until it's way too late. It's hard for me to ask for what I want. And I know I struggle with setting boundaries. This causes problems in my life. And it makes me feel, and insert how you feel, maybe you feel lost, overwhelmed, stressed. I fear being too much or not enough. And I'm afraid that my needs don't matter. It's hard for me to prioritize myself. I've been living like this for decades. I know I should be better at setting boundaries. But I've always been like this. I just push through. Even when I feel exhausted. Because I can't ask for help. Me ask for help? What is that? I never ask for help. There's nobody to help me, even if I were to ask. I just keep going. I just push through. I keep attending other people's wants over my own needs. It's just easier that way. I don't want to rock the boat. If I say no to other people's desires. So I just keep adding things to my plate. Trust me, it's easier that way. Big breath. I just don't ask for help. No way. Besides, it's faster if I do it myself. Nobody else gets it right. It's hard for me to relax because I need to keep myself busy. Busy, busy, busy. That's me. Keep tapping. Take a deep breath. Saying all of this makes me feel. Speak aloud what you feel. Maybe it's sad, hurt, overwhelmed. And just speak to that emotion. So you can just say this sadness, that's true for you, this fear, this overwhelm. I cannot believe I've let it get to this. All of these feelings, these uncomfortable feelings. I've lived this way for so long. Because when I was young, expressing my needs was not safe. I had to do what they wanted me to do. All of the time. I learned to ignore my needs. because I was trying to survive. Having needs was not safe. I had to do what others thought was best. My boundaries were not respected. The word no just was not accepted. It was safer for me to blend in and not stand out. So I learned to stuff my needs down with food. Take a deep breath, keep tapping. Because deep down inside, I'm scared of being rejected for having needs. A long time ago, I learned that it was not safe for me to have needs. So I adapted to please others. I needed to do this to survive. Expressing my needs feels like a threat. And I just don't like that feeling. Yet part of me knows that this is so frustrating. I don't deserve to be treated like this. Can't people see that I need help? Why won't they help me? But you know what? I do this to myself. I'm the one not asking for support. My younger self learned not to set boundaries because boundaries means rejection or punishment. I became what others wanted me to be, so I could avoid conflict. My needs were pushed aside for harmony. There was never any room for my own needs. I fear asserting myself, and I fear being separate. It's hard to break free from these old patterns because change is hard. Change is unsafe. Keep tapping, take another deep breath. I've spent my whole life doing what's best for others. This is a habit of mine. I put others' needs before my own to feel accepted. Then I neglect my own needs. I do this so I can fit in. It's become a habit to please others first. I feel guilty when I think about my own needs. I'm just not used to having them. I don't even know where to start when it comes to expressing them. Breaking this habit is challenging, but yet I want to learn to prioritize myself. Take a deep breath again. but I also don't want to look too needy. I like being independent and getting my own stuff done. Being needy means being weak. And I am not weak. No way. It's just not safe to be needy. Good job. We're almost done. Take a deep breath again. I acknowledge this pattern and this fear. I've had this pattern and this fear for a really long time. I acknowledge that I have pushed down my own needs. And I acknowledge that I haven't changed this. But there's no time like the present. And here I am with all of these tools to be able to change it. What if it's actually safe for me to express my needs? What if I can express my needs in a healthy way? And what if I can actually get them met? Maybe it's just practice. I know it's time to break free from this old pattern. I choose to be open to the possibility of expressing my own needs confidently. And what if I can feel worthy of having these needs? I choose to release the fear of being judged for having needs. And I choose to release my own judgment of having needs. I choose to embrace my authentic self. I choose to do the hard thing. My needs are valid and important. I'm becoming more confident in expressing my needs. I choose to be gentle with myself. It's okay not to have all of the answers right now. I am doing the work. I am becoming more aware. I choose to enjoy this journey of self-discovery. I release the pressure to be perfect. I love how confident I'm becoming. And I'm proud of myself for making this change. Good job. Good. Take a deep, slow breath here. Well done. If you were able to find in your mind that the question and you had an emotion that came up with that, just go back and re-rate that. Good. I'd love to hear from you. Anyone would like to raise their hand to share? 8 to a 4. Well done. Deborah, good job. We made good timing today. Look at that. Deborah, yeah, go ahead and unmute.
Kim, I really want to thank you for these 2 tapping sessions. That last one, I think one of the biggest things in work is finding out what do you want. And I didn't even realize not being able to have needs had blocked me from being able to be clear on what I wanted. And we were doing that tapping. It's the first time it's like, ooh, and I could have a want.
Right.
I mean, it was really nice. So thank you so much. I really am grateful.
You're so welcome. And it's good to just step back. And when somebody asks you for something, if you've been like the go-to person for advice and for somebody, you know, for doing things for other people, check in if it's like something that you like. It's there. It's like probably most likely it's a want of theirs. I mean, sometimes it's a need, and of course you have to rearrange your schedule if someone like, you know, if it's an emergency situation or something like that. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're going to do that thing for the person that you love. But if it's something that they need, they want, and then it's in the way of something that you actually need, like, hey, I actually need to take 5. I need to like do my own stuff. And if it's something that's just going to convenience them, if you rearrange your schedule for them, just check in with that. Okay. Alison.
I really appreciated doing both of those together, because when I eat because of, you know, I'm filling my emotional needs, it's because I'm actually covering up the needs that I actually have. And so I started to see that the cravings for the food and the desire for eating was because I was not voicing my own need. And so seeing those two together, I think, was really helpful for me. Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. I mean, and the next one for everyone to do, which is in your coursework also, is the boundary, any type of boundary tapping, which is great. So when we, when we kind of subconsciously know that we don't want to do this thing, but we end up doing the thing and think, oh, you know, I'm going to go and do that task for somebody, thing that I don't really want to do, but I'm going to come home and eat because I didn't want to do that thing. You know, that's the treat, right? So that's why we do these things. That's why our boundary work is so important, because then when people overstep our boundaries, and sometimes we haven't set that boundary, but there's this invisible boundary that we think, hey, that person shouldn't be doing this. Can't they see that I'm looking tired and haggard over here? But then they ask anyway and push the limits. And then you think, okay, well, they've overstepped my boundary. And then you start getting angry. And you're like, hang on a second, did I say that? Did I say that I didn't want to be disturbed? No. Anyone else have anything to share? Jan, good to see you.
Hey, yeah. I just noticed too that I look for what other people need and try to make things smoother for them. And yet what I found over time is that in the end, I can't really make life work for somebody else. And that's been very difficult. It's a lesson that I've learned more than once too.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah. And not even, I guess, having been a single parent, I never even thought about what my needs were.
Yeah.
There just weren't enough hours in the day. So this was really good. It gives me a lot to look at. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Yeah, you're so welcome. Good realization. Brilliant.
You got me again.
I know, got ya. Success.
Yeah. Thanks.
You're welcome. It's great to see you here. Good. Okay, maybe one last share. Anyone like to raise their virtual hand or wave? Yeah. Okay, great. Well done today, everybody. Yeah, as always, the call's recorded, so it will be uploaded. But you can also, I mean, if you're ever stuck with something to do, just go back, go back through any of those ones, self-sabotage, the hot seat, go back and start listening to them, and you can like have them on whilst you're like doing tasks around the house. So at the start when everybody's sharing wins, and then you're like, oh, actually that's a tapping thing that I want to, so you can pause that and then do that another time. That's a good way to get through and trying to identify which of the tapping circles that are going to be best suited. But yeah, well done everybody. Great session. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.